We are live at Sage Paracon at Coombe Abbey, exclusive to Parasearch Radio. Good morning, everybody. It's Kerry Greenaway here. We are live at Sage Paracon, as you just heard. I'm actually live at this moment in time with Carl Hutchinson. Good morning, Carl. How are you?
Good morning, Kerry. How are you?
I'm very well. It looks like you're a little worse for wear, I have to say.
Not wise, just tired wise. But it's day two, and it's set up. The convention started about 15 minutes ago from the for MJ just doing her talk. So I'm finding a little nook to do the radio show from. So
excellent. So the first night was the investigation, wasn't it? That was on Thursday.
Yeah, we set up the event basically last year. It was set over 3 days. MJ did it over 4 days this year. The main reason was so the investigation, you could have the investigation, and then yesterday morning you had the period of time where you then relax and recover, because it was obviously a 4 o'clock finish for most people. But yes, we anybody that doesn't know where Sage Paracon is at the moment, it's at Coombe Abbey, just outside of Coventry. It's an unbelievable hotel, deep in history. It's never been officially investigated, but it's an incredible location. So the Thursday night investigation was in the gatehouse, which is basically the entrance and stable block to when it was the original house. So all the speakers had a different area to investigate, very, very small groups. There was only I think the maximum some of the groups had was 10. And what we did was we did controlled 35, 40-minute sessions with each of the speakers. Myself and Duncan were making sure everything was moving between the two areas. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it was really, really good, interesting location. So we were investigating the gatehouse. We were also investigating a couple of bedrooms, a couple of the suites in the old hotel, mm-hmm. and a couple of rooms downstairs as well.
Did you get much activity?
I don't know, because obviously I wasn't doing the investigation. I was helping move it between areas.
Oh, okay.
So. But listening to the feedback from various different people as I moved between the groups, making sure they were in their new areas in enough time, they were having some interesting stuff, because obviously we haven't done the whole history of this, so we're still in the process going through. I know Barry and Chris, which we'll be talking to at some point over the weekend, they've captured some interesting stuff on EVP.
Fantastic.
And there's other things that have happened. Some interesting, like some noise, some hits on the Ouija boards. Karen, who is the Ouija board expert from America, came over and did a controlled Ouija board session with Barry John, the medium. And yeah. We were having messages that were written down in one group that the following group that came in was sort of answering their questions.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so, yeah. It was all a bit interesting, so...
Yeah, well, Penny
is
with you. Well, she'll say she's with you. She's not with you just yet, but she's at Coombe Abbey as well. She did a live feed this morning to just give us an overview of the location. In fact, that's one thing that a lot of the speakers have done, have gone live to show the location, because the location is absolutely awesome, isn't it?
I must admit, I haven't had a chance to really explore, because I've been sort of had my sage hat on, chauffeur hat, all that sort of stuff. I've been basically making sure, if MJ needed anything doing, I've sort of been helping out on that. So I've seen where you had breakfast. Obviously, I've seen where I'm sleeping, and I've seen the various couple of locations. But yeah, you walk into reception, and it's like got a pulpit, a church pulpit above, and it's all wooden panels, and it looks so amazing. But yeah, the grounds are stunning. I've not actually gone round the grounds, so it is quite amazing.
Cool. Oh my God. So last night was the medieval ball.
Yeah, medieval banquet.
Did you? Yeah, that's right. Sorry. Did you dress up?
I didn't. No. Quite a few of the guests and the speakers, they did. And yeah, it was like a themed medieval banquet. So we were taken into part of the stable block, and there was all music, people dressed up who were part of the banquet team, and they told a story, and we basically went in, and they did basically through the medieval times. So when everybody was poor, and then it was obviously nobility, and they did little songs, and we started off with broth, and then literally it was just different types of food and stuff like that from the period. So it was really, really good, and we were drinking mead and wine and all sorts of things like that.
So what was the food like? I mean, what's broth like?
It was dark. Yeah, it was all right, but yeah. As I speak, we're live on air, and Mr. Barry Guy has just walked in. So
go grab.
Hello.
Go and grab Barry.
I'm just going to put you on. I'm just going to lay you down so Barry can actually talk as well.
Cool.
So welcome, Barry. Have we got Kerry here?
Yeah, we're live on air.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We're live on air, so there's Big Brother says, please don't sweat.
Hi, Barry.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. And how are you? How's your experience going so far?
Oh, it's been brilliant here. So many different people, so many different things that we've got up to. I mean, it's all good. The investigation element was brilliant. We had such a fantastic night.
Yeah, because Barry and Chris were in the stable block area, which is now converted into the bar, and they were doing Spirit Box EVPs. And you were saying to me at the end, you may have caught some really good EVPs.
Yeah, you see, because we had 6 groups over the night, and in each group we caught some EVPs. We heard them. Some of them were audible DVPs, and when we played them back, we did hear responses. But I think I've captured 2 clear ones: yes responses, and something that we're trying to work out what it says, but it's like, help me, please help me, something on those lines. But then also we had an ITC experiment with the Spirit Box, and that session yielded some amazing results again. And I'm going to let the guys listen to it at some point this afternoon.
And you also had something happen with the chair.
Oh yeah, that was amazing. So we were on one end of the room, and there was a table and chairs at the other end, and the whole group and I heard the chair move. We turned, and lo and behold, the chair that was next to the table had slid backwards, probably about 5 or 6 feet. So we'd heard this happen. Unfortunately, there were no cameras in the room, but it was something that we all kind of experienced at the same time. Amazing evidence, to be honest with you. It's such a great location.
Yeah, I must admit, it's an amazing location. Obviously, this is your first time at Sage Paracon.
Yes, it is.
What's your opening thoughts of it?
It's the most amazing experience ever. I think anybody and everybody has to come every single year, because this is where it's at, honestly.
Yeah, I must admit, I've been to the 3 as a speaker in the first one, and it's an event which is becoming better and better and bigger as each year goes on. So obviously we're going to talk. You've obviously this current series, Series 1 of My House is Haunted, has just finished with you, Chris. Give us your views. How did you feel the sponsors have been, and what's your underlying best moment from the series?
Well, to be honest with you, making any paranormal TV series, there's an element of expectation. And I expected great things, but it was the fear of it going to air and seeing what the audience's reaction was going to be. And I was tremendous. We've had so much positive comments, responses, love for the show. There are people that desperately want this series to come back. So you need to watch this space, and I can't say any more than that, I don't think. And I suppose keep your eyes peeled for next year.
Brilliant.
But
I have to say, I think it will be back. I will say that.
Well, let's just keep our fingers and toes crossed. I mean, the good thing about Help My House is Haunted is, we kept everything real. It was investigation. It was full of real experiences, real fear at some points, and paranormal events that we were able to document and capture on camera and audio and what else. So, I'm glad that the viewers loved it, and I had such a buzz for making that programme.
I must admit, I've not seen all of them because it's been a busy last 4 or 5 weeks for me, so I've not really I've sort of been binge watching when I can. But the one episode which I remember, which I was talking to Chris about earlier, and that's the one where I think it was a pub which had a bit like where we stayed on Wednesday night with
Thatch Cottage.
And he heard the little boy while he was doing the piece to camera.
Yeah.
And it was just like,
oh, that was Bait Hall.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Chris did a psychic walk around, and as he approached the building, there was an audible response from a hello from a boy, a child.
And it was you picked it up on cameras. It wasn't the sound on cameras. It wasn't like a playback on the EVP. It was a direct response to him asking if there was anybody there.
Yeah.
So we're just going to be joined shortly by Penny. So.
Is that her giggling? Is that her giggling? Before Barry goes, he's actually got a...
giggling, yes.
Hello.
Hello, is Barry still there with you for a second?
I'm still here, Kerry.
Okay, well, you've got a new series going on at the moment as well, haven't you? Britain's Scariest Places?
Oh, yeah, Britain's Scariest Hauntings.
That's right. With our very own Jolene.
Well, yeah, Joe. So we actually met up to film for each episode. We're Series X for the 10 episodes that are going to be aired. I think episode 2, I think, aired yesterday. I think it was yesterday or Thursday. I never got to see that one on Edinburgh Revolts, but I heard it's good, and I'm looking forward to binge watching those myself.
Brilliant. I just wanted to give Joe and yourself a shout out for that one that's going live at the moment. So Penny's with you now.
Yes, I'm here. I've been chatting to people.
Thanks a lot, Barry.
Thanks, Barry.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yes, I've been chatting.
Penny.
Sorry, yes.
Focus, love.
Yes. Sorry.
So how are you finding it? What have you been up to?
Well, I've been chatting to everyone, sort of making myself known, getting to meet people like Paul Stevenson from Haunted Magazine, Richard Eastep and I have been nattering away. I've got to chat to the wonderful Karen Dorman from the Talking Boards Historical... I'm looking for Carl to make sure I'm saying this right. Talking Boards Historical Site. I've been chatting to Katrina, Chris, Barry, the other Barry. Yeah, Aaron, obviously. It's a great atmosphere. It's a great atmosphere here, and the building is absolutely stunning. It's absolutely stunning.
It looked it in your live feed this morning.
We're coming next year.
Okay.
If we have to sell our kidneys so that we can afford to come, we're coming next year.
Well, I just want to give a shout out to Jeanette Wally. She is travelling down as we speak, so she's really looking forward. She's really looking forward to getting there. Is Jeanette, if I'm remembering rightly, Jeanette's one of the Spooky Sisters, right?
Her and Pamela, they're the Spooky Sisters. One of them lives just outside Lancaster. The other one lives just outside of Blackpool. They spoke to us when I did a show on Pavelia. They've done a couple. They did Lancaster Castle, and Pavelia was the other one. So yes, they're the Spooky Sisters. I've also met a couple of other listeners while I've been here. Ness Watts is here. And it was lovely to meet her. Kelly. Sorry, Kelly Ellis.
Yeah,
got
Kelly.
to meet her as well. So yeah, there's loads of people, and they seem just as pleased to meet me as they did some of the guests.
Oh, that's brilliant. Did Kelly bring her hands-free Ouija board?
Is Kelly the hands-free Ouija? Oh, no, she didn't. No, she did buy a Ouija board from Karen, though. Talking Boards Historical Society. Beautiful board. So no, I'll have to grab Kelly if I see her again and ask her about that. No, there's a steady stream of people coming through.
Yes, currently, MJ's just doing her opening address to the Paracon, so the official lectures is happening at the moment, and I think Aaron Sagers is talking about paranormal pop culture next.
Yeah.
So we'll be catching up with Aaron in a bit. MJ's given us exclusive access to all the speakers, so at some point over the next tomorrow we'll have access more than once to the speakers. So and obviously we'll be talking. We might try and drag in a few of the punters as well, just to give them their view on the Sage Paracon.
Oh, that's absolutely fantastic. Can you answer me one question? Is Aaron wearing one of his tiki shirts?
No, he's in a black shirt.
Oh, that's a letdown, isn't it?
He's got a scarf on, but he's in a black shirt. I know. I've also asked him if he's earned any money from his lap dancing yet.
Oh, you make sure.
Not yet. I think he's waiting for the Spooky Sisters to turn up.
Well, I think that's the thing.
Myself and Aaron will be wearing our tiki shirts. I think tomorrow, on Sunday, I think we'll be doing it.
Okay.
Okay. We're going to be shortly joined by Katrina, but we might have to find a little bit of a quiet room as well, because obviously the first lecture's finished. So we're live. It's happening, and we are getting a little bit noise pollution. So, okay.
No, that's absolutely fine. We expected a little bit of noise pollution there because it's so busy and everything's going on. And the guys are actually, at this moment in time, sitting in the reception area of Coombe Abbey, and the first lecture by MJ has just finished. So everyone's now coming out of the lecture hall, and the guys looks like they're moving. I can see them on Skype as they're moving around the location.
Yeah. So this could be the first ever live walking radio in.
First ever live walking radio. Let's just hope the signal holds out, right?
Kelly.
Yeah.
Kelly with the Kelly.
Oh, Penny's shouting for Kelly J. Ellis, I believe, at this moment in time.
Yes, she's upstairs. Kerry, did you hear that?
I knew you were shouting for Kelly. Yeah. Is Kelly with you?
Yes, she has got the hands-free board with her.
Oh, brilliant. So you might get to see a demonstration of it.
Karen loves it, by the way. She wants it. Well, I want to do a bit of a live then, a bit later. You can show me it in action. Is that all right, Kerry?
Absolutely fine. We love to see new things in action.
Kerry.
Hi, guys.
Ness says hello as well, by the way.
Hi, guys.
Bye. That's fine.
Closer to the mic, guys, because people can't hear you. It's a little bit it's a little bit chaotic, everybody listening, but stay with us because we are still live from Coombe Abbey at Sage Paracon. So, Penny, what else is going on around you at the moment?
Well, bye, later. See you later, girls. Yeah, the first lecture's just come out, so everyone will be coming down in about half an hour, I think, for Aaron's. We're just waiting for Katrina to join us. As you can imagine, she gets sort of collared as soon as she starts walking around.
I can imagine she does.
Yeah, it's amazing actually. I mean, this is actually the first paranormal conference type thing I've actually come to, and I can honestly say the atmosphere here is brilliant.
Yeah,
it's so friendly and happy, and yeah, it's a really, really good atmosphere. I can only imagine what the ball and everything was like. There was wine added to the mix as well.
We had the banquet last night, as we were saying a little bit earlier. Paracon is, and MJ has the philosophy of saying it's more of a family. So it's the Sage tribe, and nobody's a stranger. Everybody's a friend to happen.
That's exactly what I was just about to say. Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the good ethos about the Sage Paracon, is that the family atmosphere, the friendly. There's no egos. There's none of this going on. They're just all here for the same reason, the same interest, the same love for the paranormal, and you get to hang out in an amazing location. And yes, there's a few little drinks, get drunk.
Just a few
over the weekend.
Oh, well, I saw the size of your bottle of Jack Daniels. You had a few.
I must. Yeah, that was a prop.
Oh,
It wasn't
okay.
prop. It
I was going to say,
um,
had you drunk it all?
No. It was just a display, a 3 litre bottle, a display bottle of Jack Daniels that I was just taking a picture from. Yeah, all good, and yeah, it was a good night. Penny's just gone off to see if she can round up Katrina. So there might be a moment that I might have to disappear off air because I might have to go and put my tech hat on to go and set up Aaron's projector for his presentation. So what I might do is I'll be here for the moment, and then I might have to just shoot off, but I'll leave you in the capable hands of Penny when I go and set up do my tech bit for Sage.
No problem at all. It's just you can tell the atmosphere just from doing this radio interview. And you're surrounded by people. I can see you sort of mouthing hellos to people whilst you're there.
Yeah.
So how are the girls in your accommodation? Because you've got the cottage in Coombe Abbey, haven't you?
Yeah. Yes, we have. Yeah, we're gonna chat and walk. Yeah, we're just here anyway. So.
Chatting and walking.
I think if we're in a quiet room, it sort of gives the effect that we're in a library. When Sage Paracon is more than not a library. So I'm just going to put you on the desk, okay?
Okay, I'm now going onto a desk.
Listening. We're now joined by a very lovely lady who I've been lucky enough to be chatting to this morning for a bit whilst we were waiting for people to come in. I can say this, and she's probably going to give me a filthy look for saying it, but she's possibly one of the most down-to-earth TV people I think I've met. And Kerry, we've discovered we have rugby in common.
Oh, wow, excellent.
So it's Miss Katrina Weidman.
Yes.
Yeah, I tried to remember how you said to pronounce it.
You got it.
Kerry, did you want to ask Katrina anything before I kick off?
Yes, Katrina. Thank you so much for joining us on Parasearch Radio this morning. How do you stay so beautiful looking on your television programmes? Well, that's what I want to know.
All the investigations.
Yeah, 3 days lockdown, and you still look gorgeous by the end of it.
Thank you. Good lighting, I guess. Good camera guy.
So what are you making? Carry on, sorry.
Oh, yeah, I think, for me, when we're on a lockdown, I don't think she can hear me.
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, can you hear us all right?
Yeah, fine.
Sorry.
Carry on.
Yeah, I think for me, when I'm on a lockdown, so everyone makes fun of me that I have, do you guys have Nalgene's? You guys, they're big water bottles. They're 32 ounces of water bottles. And I
like that one there?
Yeah, like the one I have behind me. And it's so funny because when I go on a lockdown, they'll kind of tease me a little bit because I bring so many, but I make sure to drink all my water. I make sure to do my morning routine. When we're on a lockdown, if I have 5 minutes, I'll try to work out somehow. So I think for me that's really important. Otherwise, you just feel like crap.
Yeah.
And then you look like crap.
Yeah.
You look how you feel. I think so. I try. And then just again, Rob's an amazing director of photography, so he makes me look good.
She's putting herself down because I'm sitting opposite her right now, and it's not just the photography. I'm telling you.
So what's your experience of Sage at this point in time? How are you finding it?
Oh, I love it. It's a very intimate event, which is nice because a lot of events, especially in the States, sometimes they're so big that you don't get a lot of time to talk with people. So it can be hard when you want to talk to other investigators about, just kind of talk shop. You don't really have a lot of time to do that. But so far at Sage, we've only just begun and I've had some really great conversations with people in the field.
Mm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I would say that it is very intimate up there, but as we were saying, it's also very laid back and very friendly, and there's no sort of boundaries to talking to people.
Yeah,
which is different, and is good though, because at the end of the day, you want to talk to people, you want to hear their experiences, don't you? And what would you say then that your most interesting experience yourself has been?
Well, I've had a lot of interesting experiences, but for me, I always go back to, it's also probably the scariest experience I've had, but at 30 East Drive, when I got scratched there.
Right.
Because that happened to my body, you know, so I think a lot of times when we use equipment, right, because, I mean, if we're using an EMF detector, if it goes off, it doesn't mean it's a ghost. It means that there's an interesting fluctuation happening.
Exactly.
So could that be connected to what we call a ghost? Sure, it could be, but it might not. You know, so when we have equipment like that, I'm very skeptical. Voice equipment, although I've had really great results, especially at Shepton Mallet, that one blew me away. But again, I always kind of look at it through like a more skeptical lens because we have to. But when it happens to your own body and you have scratch marks show up and there's no logical way that we know of right now that would cause that, you know, to me, that's always been like the experience that really sticks out because I don't have an answer. I have a zero answer for why or how that would happen.
So you've investigated a lot in America. Jump in if you've got a question, Kerry.
Okay.
You've investigated a lot in America. You've obviously investigated a lot in the UK.
Yeah.
Would you say one is more haunted than the other?
Well, it's interesting because I think in the UK you guys have such a deep history with your structures. So, you know, the oldest structures we have in America, I mean, there's like maybe one or two that are very, very old, but they would never let us in to investigate. But the standing structures we have, like houses and stuff, only date back to, you know, mid to late 1600s. So when you come to the UK, you know, I mean, we were investigating and living in Abbeys that go back to 900 years ago, 1,000 years ago. And you just don't have the same rich history like that as far as the structures go in America. So when we're dealing with the paranormal and if we're connecting the, any kind of ghost activity with history, there's way more layers to work through. In the UK than there is in the US. And it's funny because even in the US it's a challenge because, and you know this because you do history, is that, you know, just documentation was not always proper. It wasn't there. And also people tried to cover things up. So if you had any kind of wealth and you didn't want something to be documented, you had the means to take care of it. So, you know, there's a lot of challenges that present, I think, when you have to go back through that many layers. But interestingly enough, one of the biggest differences that I've noticed, not so much with activity, but with the people in America, you know, it's still kind of a taboo subject. You find people that are much more willing to talk about it now than they were before, but it's still kind of, I still get the looks, so I still have to kind of lie about what I do if I meet a new person. Over here, though, and it's the funniest thing, I remember I went to Windsor, I had a day off, and I went to Windsor.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, and you know, I'm a paranormal girl, so on my time off, I still like to, like, where's the haunted spot? I want to see it. So I went around with strangers, and I was just like, where's a haunted place here? And every single person I talked to would take 20 minutes out of their day to tell me all the ghost stories they knew. And I actually went to, it was one, you know, kind of like they had a side cafe, and somebody had told me the building was haunted. And they were all Italian, all from Italy. And I'm like, is this place haunted? I heard it was. They had no clue who I was. And they're like, oh my God. They're like, let me show you the whole building. And they gave me this whole tour. I was some strange girl off the street from America. And they showed me everything in the building, like even the basement, and just they took me all around. And so there's definitely like more of enthusiasm, I think, when it comes to ghosts here. And I wonder if one of the reasons is, again, it goes back to the layers of history you guys have with your buildings. When you guys grew up, right, every building probably had a ghost story attached to it in some way.
Yeah, urban myths.
Right, urban myths, legends. And so, like, you guys kind of grow up with that as part of your culture. And since our buildings aren't as old, I think there's not as much of that.
Yeah, I also think that it has one of the other aspects is because when I first started 20 odd years ago, it was a little bit, like you said, a taboo subject.
Yeah.
You wouldn't mention you go paranormal investigating on the weekend or anything like that. But I think then the explosion on TV came with the various different shows, and I think it became more mainstream then.
Yeah.
So people would then say you're interested in the paranormal. And I think that's what's happened, particularly in the UK, is because it's become more mainstream. It's like I never told people I was a paranormal investigator until about 6-7 years ago.
Isn't it funny? We have to like live in the shadows a little bit sometimes. Yeah.
But now they know because all my work knows on here, and obviously I've done all the stuff I've done. So I think it's becoming more mainstream.
It's becoming more acceptable to talk about. I mean, what do you think, Kerry?
Yeah, definitely. I think with, the paranormal explosion that we class it as of the last 10 years has made the whole thing a lot more acceptable to talk about and be part of. And rather than people singing the Ghostbusters theme at you, they're genuinely interested in the whole field now and more of the science that goes in behind it rather than just wanting to hear about whether you've been slimed and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm waiting for a giant marshmallow man, though.
Yeah, I think we all want that experience, though, don't we, really, in our heart of hearts?
I want a giant marshmallow. That'd be nice.
I had one of those in my coffee this morning.
Did you?
Yeah.
Giant
Marshmallow in your coffee?
Oh,
is that an English thing?
No, I just,
She's like, I've never heard of
I
it.
just decided to do
Well,
it.
no, it's going to be hot chocolate.
Yeah.
I've never seen it in a coffee before.
Well, they were there when I had a coffee. That's right.
Well, you see, the best thing my husband's told me to associate with a coffee, and this isn't paranormal, but he says, take a Twix and use it as a straw while you're drinking your coffee.
I've heard the bourbon biscuit.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, he rates that. He said tea or coffee, whichever your poison is. It's got to be hot because it's got to melt the chocolate and the sort of caramel in the Twix.
Oh, that sounds good.
He said use it as a straw while you're drinking your coffee. So there you go.
So, Katrina.
Parent Search Radio.
Katrina.
Not just the paranormal.
Katrina, what did you make of the medieval medieval banquet last night?
Oh, it was so fun. So I was a theater major in college. That was my second major. And I majored in performance. So I always love going to any type of performance like that. And I thought the actors did such a great job, and they were really fun and interactive with the audience. And the food was actually quite good.
Was it?
Yeah. So, so it was a splendid time.
Was there any part of that banquet that you didn't enjoy?
Well, I went to Penn State. So Penn State.
I was going to say, is that the college thing?
Penn State's the second biggest party school in America. So, it took me a couple throws to get back into my pong days, but eventually I got into it. Yeah.
I could also see you were giving MJ some strategy what to do, how to get
Yeah. I was trying to tell Duncan, I'm like, you need to re-rack. Tell her to re-rack her things.
Well, there's something else, actually, that Katrina and I have in common, apart from the rugby angle, Kerry.
Mm-hmm.
We're both singers in rock bands.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard this about Katrina. I hear she can crack out a very decent tune.
Yeah, well, I'm a belter. So my parents, so when I went to school, my first major, it's called integrative arts. And it was basically like, if you were any kind of into the arts at all, and it crossed a couple different majors, you could work with an advisor to create your own. So I did music production because I always played the violin. I played piano since I was 10, so music has always been a big, big part of my life. And so that was my first major. And then my parents, they were always in plays and theatrical performances. So I got into that. And so it's just, and part of your theater training is musical theater. And so singing, and I always grew up with both my parents singing. And so it's just a very much a piece of who I am, is the music side.
So who would you say your musical influences are?
Oh, Ann Wilson, 100% for vocals.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Oh,
Heart.
Yeah.
In case you,
from heart. She can melt faces. And
Yeah.
I'll go on YouTube sometimes, and her acoustic versions of Alone, when she hits that high note, I bawl.
You cry.
I do,
I get you.
uncontrollably.
We're high-fiving here. You can't see this, but we are.
I do. Other people, I love Pat Benatar.
Yeah.
And,
Yes, I know her.
You know her, Terry?
I know Pat, but not actually. Don't actually know her, but I know her music.
Yeah. You know who Pat Benatar? You know who Heart are, right?
I know probably one song.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not a particularly into the rock music genre. Penny's determined to educate me.
Yeah, we've been trying to educate Kerry on rock bands. I will send you some really good Heart stuff, and you can listen to what Ann Wilson is like.
Okay,
as a
thank
singer.
you.
She's incredible.
Yeah. Thank you.
I did. I saw
wow.
her last summer. I went and I took my fiance with me, and he's not really he likes rock, but he's not as into it as I am. So he knew of her, but he didn't really know what she could do. And so he went with me, and he was sitting there with me, grabbing me. He's like,
imagine.
"Oh my God, she's incredible."
Yeah, she is. But then Nancy's very talented. Her sister is amazing as well. She doesn't always get the credit that Anne does, but Nancy's the arranger, she's the writer, she's everything. So
she plays multi-instruments. Yeah.
What about Lizzie Hale? What do you think about Lizzie Hale?
Oh my God, she's another one of mine.
Good girl. We are bonding here.
Well, they're having a little girlmance going on now.
Amazing. What was the performance I saw her on? Some late night talk show, and I can't remember which one it was, but I remember. Who was it? Was it Selena Gomez was also a guest the same night, and I can't remember which talk show it is. But that performance of her, like amazing vocals, amazing talent.
Blows my mind.
Yeah.
So I've got to let Katrina go because she's got to go back to her desk and meet people. So
Yes,
is there anything
no
else
worries.
you'd like to ask Kerry?
Just quickly, what did you sing on karaoke, Katrina?
Oh, I have a whole list I sing on karaoke. I keep it on my phone. I do. That's not even a lie. I was a bad karaoke addict for a while. Me and my girlfriend.
Practice.
It is. And me and my girlfriend's an amazing singer. She's got such a beautiful voice. And we would go to karaoke every week. And it got to the point where we were going to like multiple karaoke places in 1 week. And we would like call each other and be like, did you practice? Yeah. Okay. What are you going to sing? Okay. This is what I'm going to sing. It was so dorky, but we were like, we were very much into it. And, so my first song that I always go to, though, I love to sing Madness by Muse.
Yeah.
Another one I've been playing around with is Sam Smith. You guys know Sam Smith. He's English. Yeah. What is the name of the song? I can't think of. I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So not rock songs then?
No, I do. I like singing Melissa Etheridge.
Mm-hmm.
Heart, unfortunately, I cannot hit those notes. My
They are hard.
God.
Yeah.
And I've been working on alone with my vocal coach. And it's just like, I've maybe been able to do it once. And it's like, when you've had a lot of practice and you build up your muscles and everything like that. Unfortunately, it's just when I do this type of work, I'm out of town for like a week or two. And I try to do my vocal warm-ups every day. But, you can hear the stress and tiredness in your vocals.
Well, tiredness affects your throat.
Absolutely. So it's hard. I think when I have time off, I'm definitely going to practice with her more and try to. That's like my. That'll be like the height of my like vocal abilities if I can sing that.
So how do you fancy a Penny and Katrina duet? Kerry.
Oh yes, carry on. Yes. That'd be awesome. Sorry, I thought you were talking to Katrina.
The Rock Paranormal Sisters.
Yeah,
something
there
like that. There you go.
Well, Katrina, we would love you to come on at a later date on Parasearch Radio, and we can hopefully get you two singing together live on air at a different occasion.
We'll sort it. We'll sort it.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
Hell is for Children, something like that.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
Kerry's going, what?
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about now, but hey, it sounds great.
Pat Benatar song, babe.
Yeah, I think I know one album, to be fair. So thank you so much, Katrina. It's been fantastic catching up with you. Have a great time. Hopefully I'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Okay, thank you so much, Kerry.
Thank you, bye.
Thanks, Kerry. I'll catch you later.
Yep, no problem at all.
Bye.
Don't forget, guys, we will be going live from Sage Paracon at other times throughout the day today. And sometimes we'll be going live on our Facebook group page as well, Parasearch Radio, with Penny and Carl. So keep your eyes peeled on the Parasearch Radio group page for when we are going live. On that note, this particular feed is done, and we'll catch you up with you all very, very soon. Take care.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to join us for more shows throughout the week. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and the World Wide Web to keep up to date with all the shows right here on Parasearch Radio.